Hello, and welcome to the Sunshine Study. I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Lifejoy coach and author of 5 books about joy, courage, resilience, and wisdom. Sunflowers are my theme because they are tall, they are golden, they seek the light, and when the storms come, they hold one another together. And Lifejoy stands for love, integrity, fortitude, energy, joy, order, and you. And it's a unique model that I've built and method of coaching and counselling to help you be braver, wiser, more joyous, but ultimately more you, so you can shine ever brighter and deal with what life throws at you, but also what you can throw at life. So today I thought I'd talk about why I love comfort zones, because you will hear lots of people say, smash your comfort zone, go on, kill it, very aggressive language. But I thought we could think about comfort zones in an entirely different way. And when we think about things in an entirely different way, we become much more powerful, we become more intelligent, and we can discern the differences. So I want us to think about comfort zones. Now, popularity of thinking at the moment is that comfort zones are not the best thing. We need to push through them. We need to make the comfort zone bigger and uncomfortable and be stronger and grow and, climb and be all the things. I like to think about comfort at 3 levels. And I have had decades of being physically very uncomfortable. So often people who've had a lot of pain and a lot of difficulty, physically as well as mentally, will just want some comfort. They'll just want some care and some peace. They'll want the pain to stop. They will want muscles not to hurt. They will want joints to move carefully. They will want to be able to tolerate the light and not have terrible migraine. So there's lots of things that being comfortable get totally ignored when you're fit and well. But when you're not, having a comfort zone is like winning the lottery of health. So look at it first of all as a good thing. Being comfortable is a great blessing because it allows you to go forward in your life. When you're uncomfortable, you're always fighting all the time a body that isn't working. So when we can value comfort, we're much more powerful. So I think that's one way to look at it. Now, people talk about comfort zones often in terms of learning and things with which we are unfamiliar. What if we thought about comfort zones of learning as this is just new? It's just new and it's unfamiliar. So when we put on a new pair of shoes, if we're fortunate to have new shoes, they're a bit stiffer, they're a bit unfamiliar for our feet. They look really good often, but we have to know how to lace them up if they've got laces, or how tight we like them, or the sort of socks or footwear that we have with them. There's an experience of learning there. They're not slippers, they're for outside. So think about having concentric circles of comfort in your life. There is a time for slippers and there's a time for shoes, but then think about the type of shoes that you have in your life, what you need. Are you wandering around in muddy fields in wellies, which are good, or slippers? So you need a different comfort zone for different circumstances. As you might have found out, I like analogies and I like metaphor. So a comfort zone is not necessarily a bad thing. It might be something that you need to be in to mend, heal, restore, rejuvenate, appreciate. Now, if it's not a comfort zone, it's just unfamiliar. So by using wise words, we take the sting out of it, the aggression, the shame. I'm just unfamiliar with this. I'll work a bit longer and it might become clear. Or maybe I'll get some help and then it will become more familiar. Maybe I need to do something 50 times and then it will be familiar. I'm only at 27, I've got to get to 50. So think about it like that. And usually when something is very uncomfortable and very unfamiliar, it means we've either only just started and we need to give ourselves some grace for it to last a bit longer, the learning process, because we go to school for a long time if you think about it. And when you go in at 5, you're very different from 16 or 18. So remember that you can be unfamiliar and help can come. And that's a really wonderful thing. Think about your favourite teacher who helped you be comfortable with learning. Think about your favourite person at work who's helped you, or a trainer, or a doctor, or a social worker, or a priest, or a coach, or a counsellor, or just a kind next door neighbour or friend. People are always helping people to become more familiar. And then think about this. You're probably further through the learning process than you realise. And even when I'm really floundering, I've now taught myself to think I might be 80% through this experience. Only got 20 more to go. We're nearly there. And I might be through it at 96. So if you can talk to yourself kindly through learning, through unfamiliar, through discomfort, you are much more likely to survive it and, dare I say, thrive afterwards. Now remember also that new things age, so it won't be new forever, it will be more familiar. And think about how you learn. Are you a visual learner? Do you learn best if somebody's teaching you and you take notes, or you read something, or you watch somebody demonstrate something? I'm much better if somebody shows me something or I can look at it. Written instructions for me are much more difficult. And I'm just fine with that. I'm not cross with myself about it. I just try and do the best way I can. So if you think about that, you're just learning wisely with a style that suits you. And new things become old and familiar. And you will have forgotten about this in 6 months' time. Maybe you have a backup plan. Maybe you have somebody you know you can go to. But think about things that you have in your life now are goals and achievements and learning outcomes that you started somewhere and didn't know anything about. You know, the first time you used a computer or a phone or drove a car or had a machine or tied shoelaces or just something that you now use all the time and don't even think about it. That was once very daunting. And then finally, remember that all of these things are privileges. They are luxury problems. And if you want to stretch yourself a bit, do it. It's wonderful. It's such a privilege to be able to be uncomfortable through your own choice. Now, if it's not your choice and it's unfair or it's even horrendous or tragic, that's a very different video. And I make many more of those about bereavement later on. But just think about where you can be uncomfortable but quite safe. Just grow and stretch a bit. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that I'm quite risk averse. I don't like risk because of illness. You know, I've seen what can be lost in so many ways. But a calculated, measured risk is not a risk anymore if you've done a SWOT analysis or you've checked all the consequences and you know it's safe to take that little leap. And learning is one of those. And here's the bit of magic, and I'll leave you with this quote. Action negates worry. So when we're worrying and churning and chewing about something, when we think wise thoughts and we do wise things, that action undermines the worry. And learning new things is a great antidote to stress. So whatever you're learning, whatever you're doing, even if today you just have to learn a new button on a machine, I wish you great luck and great joy in it. Remember, action negates worry. And sometimes comfort zones are glorious things, and sometimes we could think of them as just unfamiliar and stretch ourselves, and then be wiser, stronger, and more joyous. And when we grow, we do two things. We set an example to those around us, and then we can give from that growth. That's a really joyous thing. I hope that's been helpful, my friends. Please, please, please like, comment and sign up, subscribe. It's joyous to have you with us on this Lifejoy journey together. I hope you have the day you need, the blessings you deserve, and the people who will enrich you. Take care, my friends. God bless. Be safe.